I never expected in my life, as an American, to see a swastika at a major political rally. It's horrible.
On a march by Nazis and white supremacists, who then declares, well, there are nice people on both sides. Mr. President, there are no nice Nazis.
A few moments later.
I'm not overly impressed by a squad of media running around saying, what do you think about the tattoo on Graham Platner's chest? Between you and me, there might be one or two more important issues.
Political consistency is a rare commodity in Washington, but some double standards are so glaring they demand an audit. Today on the Minto Report, we are looking at the curious case of Senator Bernie Saunders, a man who built a brand on unwavering moral. Clarify until party politics and a high-stakes Senate got in the way. We are talking about the Senate seat in Maine, where Graham Platner, the guy that is alleged to have the Nazi tattoo, is running against Susan Collins. Mainers are for Susan Collins, and maniacs are for Graham Platner, unless you are Chuck Schumer and Bernie Saunders.
I endorsed Graham Platner. We're going to beat Susan Collins and take back the Senate.
What the American people are saying right now is, let's let candidates have the guts to take on a corrupt and broken system. And maybe let's understand that nobody is perfect.
Democrats have got a huge problem. Graham Platner in Maine is one example, a terrible Senate candidate.
Well, he's a major sleazebag. I mean, you look at him.
Yeah.
Can't imagine that but yet he's up in the polls against.
Will those words come back to haunt Mr. Chuck Schumer and Bernie Saunders? We will have to wait and see. But for now, they're throwing all in on Graham Platner. They're all in on him winning. They are winning at all cost in the race in Maine, the Senate seat in Maine. No one in their right mind would ever thought that the Democrat Party would have backing someone who has a Nazi tattoo on his chest, although he said he covered it up because he got it when he was serving in Kosovo. Bernie Saunders did not waste any time and mince any words. He attacked President Trump's statement and said,
on a march by Nazis and white supremacists, who then declares, well, there are nice people on both sides. Mr. President, there are no nice Nazis.
And now in 2026, in the Senate race in Maine, there appears to be a very nice one in the Democrat Party, allegedly.
I'm not overly impressed by a squad of media running around saying, what do you think about the tattoo on Graham Platner's chest? Between you and me, there might be one or two more important issues.
See how he just nicely stepped over the question? The question he was asked was about Graham Platner's alleged Nazi tattoo, and he just sidestepped it and just answered a question about tattoos, not a Nazi tattoo. I guess after that performance and how we dismissed the journalist who asked him the question, he and Graham Platner must sit down in a bar and have a glass of Liebfrau Milch. Let's fast forward to 2026. The battle for control of the US Senate is fierce. And the Democrats, they are desperate to flip or to hold any seat they can. But here comes Graham Platner, a Marine veteran and also an oyster farmer, and he became the Democrats' darling of Maine, and he is heavily backed and endorsed by Bernie Saunders because they are two of the same pod. They are just regular working guys. That's what they claim anyway. So Bernie, who claims to be a working guy or just middle income earner, when he was a young man 100 years ago, and now Graham Platner is a middle income earner, just like Bernie was when he was a young man 100 years ago. But what Mr. Bernie Saunders never knew, but to Bernie's surprise, Graham Platner comes with a lot of baggage. Mr. Platner came with baggage like tattoos representing the skull and bones, allegedly that the German SS officers had on their bodies back in Nazi Germany. Although he covered it up with the Celtic emblem or the Celtic logo. But when Mr. Bernie Saunders was cornered by reporters on Capitol Hill and asked about his hand-picked candidate that has the SS tattoos, allegedly his moral that he had in 2017 about Charlottesville, Virginia, went through the door, he told the reporters that the American population, people, they have bigger fish to fry than just few tattoos. Anyone notice the tactical pivot when Donald Trump, his opponent, made a vague statement about both sides? It was on unforgivable sin by Bernie Saunders. However, when it is a progressive candidate like Graham Platner, who shares the same economic platform that aligns with Mr. Bernie Saunders' wing of the party, the word Nazi is totally scrubbed from the argument. Totally. Well, this is a definition of a political phony. Ideology and moral outrage are weaponized when convenient, but quietly swept under the rug when a political victory or a progressive candidate seat is on the line. If there are truly no good Nazis, as Bernie Saunders says, shouldn't it apply to the Maine Senate candidates that he endorsed, or he was just providing lip service back in 2017 in Charlottesville when he made that comment. This has been the Minto Report.
Life with the fact that I had a skull and crossbones on my chest, because that's what I thought it was. It's come to my attention that it has a stark resemblance to a symbol that is used by neo-Nazis. And I want to say that was not the intent at all. And the idea that I've been going around with something like that utterly horrifies me. I know that symbols like this can be incredibly damaging to people, and the idea that I've had it all these years and it could have been read like that is incredibly troubling. I have lived a life